Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right smack dab in the midst of it. We learn a lot of things in life. And one of the things that I have learned and that I have found and I continue to find in life is this. That, sometimes we go through things a lot of times to finally learn a lesson, to finally learn how to deal with things, how to avoid things, how to handle things. And once we learn those things, it was a big B. Once we learn those things, it doesn't mean that we've got it down pat for life. When we learn lessons and we learn things in life, we have a choice. We have to choose every time those situations or those things reoccur in our life. We have to choose to put to use the things that we have learned from our past, and it doesn't become automatic. But what I've also found is this, is that when you've learned these things, every time these situations come up, you make a choice. You choose to utilize the things that you've learned in the past. And every time you do that, it becomes easier. And there is a point where it happens, you can move in it and in the wisdom that you've learned from the past and keep on going. But I've also have found this, and this is really important, and this is what I want to share with you all today, is that just because you've learned something and you've utilized it for many years and every time the situation comes up, does not always mean it's that way or going to be that way for life. Every time a situation comes up, you have to make the decision to put to use the wisdom that you've attained through your lifetime. And sometimes life happens, things happen, and the lessons you learn aren't always at the forefront of your mind. Sometimes you have to remind yourself how to deal with things, how to handle things, what to put to use at this point, how to get through this situation. There are other times when it's just not coming back to your memory. You got so much going on, you can't even think about what you're supposed to be thinking about right now. And it's good to be reminded. Sometimes others can remind us, things we hear, things we see. Life can remind us, and sometimes when we get in those quiet places, it comes back to us what it is that we need to do, how we need to handle these situations. So it's always good to have quiet time daily in your life, a time when you can sit down, reflect, think, and hear. So why am I sharing all of that with you? Well, for a couple of reasons. Number one, I want you to know that even though I'm here and I'm talking to you, I am talking to you and sharing with you from my experience, in the hope that something that I share with you will encourage you to keep going, to let you know that what you're going through is not uncommon. It's kind of normal in this thing. But also, if I open my life up and share my life with you, then perhaps you don't have to go down some of the roads that I went down, because you can see it and say, you know what, I can learn from what she's went through. I don't have to go through it. Or if you're in some of the things that I'm going through, then perhaps it may encourage you to know that you can get through it. Or perhaps it just may give you ideas and wisdom and solutions on how you can get through certain things, or how to deal with it, or how to overcome it. And so I'm opening up my life to you in the hopes that in some way, shape, or form it will help you. The other part of that, one of the other reasons why I am sharing this with you is also to encourage you, to enlighten you, and to inform you, to let you know that just because you learned something once in life doesn't mean that you've got it down. I've learned some things in life, you guys, and then I go years and I'm, conquering that thing and all is going well, and then there's times when I need to be reminded to put to use the things that I've learned. I also want to make sure that you know that knowledge in and of itself doesn't do anything for you. A lot of people read lots of books. A lot of people ask lots of questions, and they love to learn, and they gain knowledge from the things that they're educating themselves from, by observance, by listening, by reading, by whatever means that they use to educate themselves. But just because you are educating yourself, that education is only the first step in a process. It is not the end all. Just because you have knowledge, that knowledge isn't going to do anything for you in life unless you put it to work. That goes for me, that goes for you, that goes for everyone who has ever been born in this life. And it will continue on until the end of time, right? We have got to utilize the things that we learn. It doesn't make any sense for you to go out and read all these books about what you can do to better your health if you don't put it to practice. It doesn't make any sense for you to watch Dave Ramsey, listen to Dave Ramsey, and read all these books and do all these seminars on how to get out of debt and live debt free if you're not going to put into practice the things that you have learned. It doesn't make any sense for you to go through all of those things to get your health back, to get out of debt, to better your relationships, to further yourself in life, to do all of that work and to get to the place that you're trying to get to, for you to attain your goal and reach your goal, and then you to regress back and do all the things that you used to do, and then you find yourself back in an unhealthy place, back in debt, back having problems. You know, you think about like people who go to AA meetings, right? They're alcoholics. You know, you have people who are drug addicts and they go to rehab, they get themselves together, but they continually throughout life have to have that relationship with those, or to put to practice those things that they learn, to have that support system to strengthen them. And you find people who go through 20, 30 years and they're free. They're not tempted to drink. They don't want to drink. Some people are tempted, but they know how to get past it and they're living a good life. And then boom, a life event, a life situation, something happens, some event takes place, and next thing you know, they're worse than they were before they even started. They're right back where they started from, and all those years and all that hard work gone in a second. It's not just with people who are drug addicts, you guys. It's not just with people who are alcoholics or food addicts. It is with every area in our lives. So one thing I would like to add to that before I say goodbye for this week is this, that a lot of flies and bees around today. One thing I would like to add to that is this, that when you go through in life, right, you're going to learn a lot of things. And sometimes it may seem like it's taking forever to get the goal that you're reaching for. And sometimes it may not seem like it's worth it. But if you keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep making the right choices and decisions at every step and utilizing the things that you have learned, you will be surprised how in the end, right, you look back over your life and you'll see that there is a lot of opportunities that you could have had to go in the wrong way, but you kept making the right decisions and going the right way. And with that, I want you to know, never look at me or anybody else as if we have it all. I still have to make choices and decisions every day to do what's right. And even though I know some things, that I've learned some things over the years, doesn't mean that life is easy for me, or that those situations or those lessons I've learned, those areas in my life are still easy for me. I still struggle in areas. However, I do the best that I can to utilize the wisdom that I have. And sometimes I have to be reminded of the things that I need to do. But it's always a choice. And I choose to make the right choice in my life so that I can have, in the end, the desired results that I'm going for. So remember, in all things, do you. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Until next time. Bye.